Hey everybody, good Monday morning. Eddie Williams Sellers coming to you, sitting here in my little print shop in southeast Atlanta. It's a gray, overcast morning here in Atlanta, kind of gray and gloomy outside. You know, Karen Carpenter said you have to be careful about rainy days and Mondays. They tend to get you down. I know it's fall here and pollen's all out here too, so got people's throats scratchy in their eyes and so forth. But anyhow, everybody, good morning. Let's have a good day today. Let's get this week started. A lot to do, a lot to get done. So the morning post this morning is, how much of all of this mess is Joe Biden's fault? If Biden had done his job, Donald Trump would be sitting in prison somewhere right now, serving out the rest of his life in a prison cell. I pay a price for things I eat now. The 2 corn dogs I heated up in the microwave for a late dinner visited me at about 3 o'clock in the morning with bad heartburn. When I eat right, there is never a problem. When I don't eat right, bells and whistles go off. The warranty on my body has now passed the 70,000-mile marker. Granny Bratcher used to say, if the Lord watch not over a city, then all the watchmen watch it in vain. I thought about that when I walked into the kitchen this morning, and the back door was standing about 3 inches open. I guess we didn't lock it at bedtime good last night, and during the night, Boom Boom, who now resides in the kitchen along with Gracie because he's got a bad back, and we can't stop him from jumping up and down on the bed, so he has to sleep in the kitchen where he can't just have freedom to jump up and down on the bed. And with him being a Baptist, he really don't understand that. But I think he pushed the door open, going in and out last night. Maybe as a Baptist, he was just testing God. Do you know back in the day, people would test God? People still test God. You know, all up in the little holiness churches up in Cartersville, Georgia, and Adair's, Georgia, get snakes out and handle snake handlers and all as a way to test God. They say they testing themselves, but really they just full of shit. But that's pretty much it. I've known some of them people. They're just basically full of shit. How much do we blame the Democrats for the mess that this country is in right now? I support the shutdown. I don't mind them calling it the Democratic shutdown. The Democrats ought to take that and run with it. Because the Democrats need to show some balls and stand up to in any way possible to this Trump government. There are masked, armed men riding around in plain, unmarked cars who do not identify themselves and will not tell any Hispanic or Latino person why they are being dragged through the street and thrown in the back seat of an unmarked car going on all across the United States. This is the country we woke up to this morning. We have always had an undocumented society in the country. They have always been the people who picked the crops and made the beds and washed the dishes. Also, who build the houses, pour the driveways, put the roofs on, and cut down the trees. I have known many of them over my life. I never grudged them being here. It never crossed my mind, round them up, get rid of all of them. I hired even a few of them here in the jobs that I've had at the company here at A1 Blueprint over the years, knowing that their papers wasn't right and that they were paying withholding tax and Social Security taxes for years that they would never, ever get back. They just wanted to be here. And just about every Mexican person that I've known that was here would always take little bits of their money every week and send it back to Mexico to help feed their families and take care of their families. They're deeply loving people that are very deeply family-oriented. And, you know, Americans, I don't know if Americans do that no more. And you know, for people that have rental properties, I've rented to Mexicans over the years, and yeah, they have a history and they're known like, you rent to them, first thing you know, you have 5 or 6 people living in their house that are not supposed to be there. And there's some truth in that, but the flip side of that is they love their other family members that come here and they'll let them sleep on the floor or whatever. I remember back when Americans used to be like that, let their families move in with them. I remember my daughter Heather dated some guy from Honduras, and he hadn't been here long, and they come over to my house and visit me in Grant Park. I live by myself, have my home in Grant Park, and I was talking to him. He was a sweet, cute little old young fella, and he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." He said, "You live in this house, just you, all by yourself?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I enjoy it." He said, "It just seems odd to me in my country, we would never think to just live by ourselves in a house this big. So we'd have all our family living with us." And I'm like, "Oh, no, no, no." "Oh, I'll buy my daughter a house, but she ain't living with me." But he just thought it was odd that I lived in such a big house all by myself, because from Honduras, his region he came from, he just like, I would never ever, we'd never do that. Americans are so well off, whatever. I never grudged them being here. I hired a few over the years. Yeah. Maybe I have always had a decent heart. I have always had empathy and sympathy for the poor, for the downtrodden. For those of us people that came up dirt poor and had to claw our way. I remember when it was all I could do to put in $1 of gas as a teenager trying to get by. People that come up poor, maybe it's that. Maybe we just see other people struggling and we're like, "God, Lord, help them. Just Lord, help them." But maybe I've always had a decent heart. I have always had empathy and sympathy for the poor. Look at people out there blowing. Y'all hear them blowing horns? They're full of the devil out there, messing my video up. Let me get through this. For a person who is trying to work hard and feed their families, to see them now dragged through the streets and thrown into unmarked cars by armed men who cover their faces and won't identify themselves, it's just something like, seriously, this is our country? This is America? This is what MAGA wanted? This is what MAGA rejoices in while they're watching their Fox News shows? Good heavens. It's disturbing, isn't it? Where did all of the hate for brown-skinned people from south of the border come from? From years of Fox News and Trump? Trump was the pathway for so many evangelicals who have for so long hid their bigotry and racism and homophobia behind the cross, to come out now and show who they were all along. The good part of all of this, in this part of our history in the country, is that now I can see you and you can see me. We can all see each other clearly and plainly for who we are. We are all showing the cloth we're cut from. We see your post on Facebook. Y'all see my post on. I'm proud of who I am. Yeah, I'm proud for the stands I take. There is always a right side of history and a wrong side of history. There is about 35% of America that's on the very wrong side of history throughout this period of our history. And it's you that voted for Donald Trump. What has a Mexican ever done to me besides cooking my dinners at the local Mexican restaurant over here down the street and making sure my room was nice when I showed up somewhere? Besides that, I had 2 relationships with guys that were here undocumented. They were sweet, still are. I saw the fear they lived under in the shadows, and still do, even worse now. Why have so much hate for them? MAGA? That's my question to you. Why rejoice in children being separated from their families? Why rejoice from people being rounded up and dragged through the streets? And you sit there in the comfort of your nice, fancy home and just feel good about being American. Yeah, get rid of them Mexicans in that little town in Arkansas that's trying to make a better life for themselves. What's wrong with you? It's hard to imagine, isn't it? What did they ever do to you? What really has any undocumented